Are you actually doing the preparedness things? Hey everybody, it's Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. Today's video I want to show you a bunch of different things. That I'm doing to be prepared. Ideas that maybe you can do. Things that you can do. But before I get into the video, please subscribe, hit that thumbs up, share the videos, comment below, and check us out on Patreon. Links in the description below. We cover a lot of the tactical stuff there. A lot of the more in-depth gardening stuff, and we just go, it's a lot more personal there, and I don't have to worry about mincing my words there and speaking in parables. But anyway, before I go any further, also there's a little heart with a thanks in it. Super thanks. I'd really appreciate your guys' assistance for building the channel better. I'm trying to build a website so we can have asymmetricalpreparedness.com, and because I want to create a bunch of good stuff there. And doing stuff, all the things. Takes time, etc. So anyway, get into the video. What kinds of things am I talking about being really prepared? Actual real world preparedness. Not all this fear stuff that's going on in the world around us. I know I talk about it also because it's important. But it's also important to take time and talk about real preparedness. Are you actually doing the things to be really prepared? Like this kind of stuff. Growing your own food. All those tomatoes. Pumpkins and squashes. Potatoes. Zucchini. Peppers. And then strawberries. All those kind of things. So, first off, I guess I will show you. Let's start with a garden. And then we're going to get into a bunch of other things. Stay tuned though. We're going to talk about some good stuff. So, like I said, stay tuned. Planning ahead for the future is a very important part of preparedness because we don't want to do it just for now. So what am I looking at here? That's a plum tree. First year plum tree. We just bought it and planted it earlier this year in the spring. That will be good for years and years to come producing food. That is one aspect and a very important part of the big preparedness picture. Is long-term sustainability. Here's another part of that long-term sustainability picture. What is it? Strawberries. Because what? They grow back year after year. These were planted from runners that are to our strawberries sent out this year. And they're already growing and producing strawberries. Look at those bad boys. And these were planted way late because we had to trim the runners from the strawberries that we had to create these. But these will produce for years to come. And in the first year is the year they send out most of the runners. So what you do is you trim some of those runners and you plant them somewhere else. So they'll keep producing. And they produce fairly well for like 3 years-ish, maybe 4 years. So then what you do is you dig up the original plants, save some of the runners from your other plants that are, say, a year old, and then plant them where your original plants were. And just rotate. You will never run out of plants if you do things like strawberries. Here's another thing that's good for long-term sustainability. A compost pile. Do you guys have a compost pile? Are you making your own compost? This was covered with some dirt and watered regularly. Then I added a bunch of stuff on top of it, you can see. So I need to add some more dirt right now, and I need to turn it. So make sure you're taking care of it, make sure you're doing the things, but part of long-term sustainability, making your soil better, amending your soil, great way to do it. You could do it all by yourself. You don't have to go buy a bunch of chemicals, you don't have to buy a bunch of fertilizers or anything like that. You can do it yourself. Got water? Yeah, water is essential to life. The big barrels, I don't know if you can see back in there, yeah, there's 3, so there's 3 50-gallon barrels there, and all those are what, 5 gallons each, I believe? And that's just a very, very tiny part of our water storage. Another thing is, with water storage, those are obvious containers. What about less obvious containers? Because those are set aside for drinking. What about watering the garden? What about doing things like that? Any other use you have for water? Those are cat litter containers that I rinse out really well and then I just fill with water. No, it's not for drinking. It may not even be for bathing, but it probably could be used for bathing. watering the garden would be great. Utilize what you got and make the best out of everything you can. Here's another aspect of real preparedness. Dehydrating. Are you dehydrating? You should be. Let's open up and see what I got here. I got a pepper blend that's pretty much done, needs to be pulled out. What is this? Those are blackberry leaves. They're medicinal. What is this? That is Japanese knotweed. And so is the next tray, Japanese knotweed for medicinal purposes. What is this? This is kohlrabi. And I just pulled out, I got an empty shelf I got to add some stuff to. But I just pulled out a bunch of yellow squash, and I dehydrate so many things. It's crazy. I dehydrate corn. I dehydrate vegetables. I dehydrate fruits. I dehydrate everything I possibly can. And then what I do is I put it in a mason jar and then throw in an oxygen absorber, and it basically dry cans it. It pops the lid down and it dry cans it for long-term storage. Did I mention water storage? Yes. You can do things like this also. Every time I go to the store, I get at least one of these. I get it. Purified drinking water isn't the best, but I'll tell you what, if I die of the chemicals or something in it, well, you know, I just want to survive SHTF. I seriously doubt we have to worry about long-term concerns, but that's one way you can do it. Another essential part of preparedness? What? You mean I actually got to do some work? You mean I actually got to do something like get up off my butt and lift weights? No, please don't tell me that. Seriously, people, getting fit is one of the best preps you can do. Are you ready for winter? Do you have your firewood stacked? We do, and that's just a tiny portion of it. Get your wood in. Seriously, I hope you have a wood stove. I hope you have an alternate heating source. This is a very good prep, and you can see how much is just in this one stack. We probably have 3 or 4 times that much. So get in your firewood. Back to the long-term sustainability of your garden. Blueberries. Berry bushes produce year after year. They keep on. So they're a really good thing to do. There's 4 blueberry bushes you see right there across the front. Wonderful way to prepare, and they're good year after year after year. Here's a great thing to do in your garden. So if you've ever seen any of my past videos, this bed with Swiss chard and beets and some cantaloupes that I tried, that I don't know if it'll grow. That one, we may get that one to be viable, but they just don't grow here. It's just not hot enough, long enough, and we had a short growing season. So actually I'll talk about 2 things in this bed. See how this Swiss chard, I just let it go to seed, and this one went to seed? Yes, so I can collect my seeds. Year after year, sustainability. And then also, what did I do? I let some of my bean plants that were in here, you see all the open areas, those were bean plants. I let them go to seed, collected the seeds, then I pulled them out, and what did I do? Today, I planted potatoes in those spots. So then potatoes will grow up and be a good fall, early winter crop. Or you can leave them in ground, cover them up with some extra dirt, leave them out over the winter, and they'll grow back next year. So that's another great thing to do. More seed collections. See this onion? Those seeds, I just put a bowl underneath it, and they'll drop in there when they dry out. If it rains, I'll just replace the bowl. No big deal. I just keep an eye on it every day. So let those seeds, when they dry, they'll fall into the bowl. Good to go. Another thing about seeds is garlic. This is 2nd year garlic. And see these little pods here? See those little things here? Those are seeds. So whenever they dry out, this one's not dried out fully. See how it's still yellow? It's not dried out like, say, this one. That one's fully dried out. We already collected most of the seeds, and those are actually garlic seeds. Here's a good picture of them. Here's a good picture of 2 bunches together. Those are garlic seeds. You can keep them, store them properly, and plant them again next year. Year after year sustainability. And while I'm talking about that, I'll show you another thing right here. What is that nice little green plant? That is a huckleberry bush that I dug up out of the woods behind my house. I planted I think 18 of them here in and or around the garden. Some of them, like this one, I think is dead. I don't think it's going to survive, but all I have to do is go out in the woods and dig another one up and plant it in that same spot. So doing things like that. It's a huckleberry bush. It's a bush. It'll bear fruit, and year after year, keep on going. More long-term sustainability stuff right here along the road on the edge of my property. What are those things? Those are Jerusalem artichokes, aka sunchokes. They're tubers, like potatoes. They are 28% protein, low on the glycemic index. They are an invasive species, and they will just grow. I do, however, I do water them every once in a while, but I'm just gonna pretty much, other than that, let them go. I'm not gonna harvest them ever. I'm just gonna keep them, let them grow year after year. It's part of my guerrilla gardening area. So that's another really good thing to do. Okay, what about bugging out? We talk about bugging out all the time. Have something like this to throw in the back of your truck if you have a truck. I hope you have a truck. If you're a prepper, you should have a truck. But something like that is great. You can have it pre-stocked, ready to go. All you gotta do is jack it up, drive the truck underneath it, drive it down, strap it in, and go. Bugging out, if you want to take it seriously, you gotta start doing things like this. Speaking of having a truck and a bug out vehicle, here's a good example of one. I could fit a lot of stuff under that shell in that 1-ton long bed diesel. That is a really good option. Like I said, I mean, do you want to take it seriously or not? If you want to take it seriously, I'm showing you a bunch of things that you need to start doing and start getting squared away. And I still got a bunch more to show you, so stand by. Talk about heating your home this winter. Do you have any kindling already ready to go? I do. What about more firewood? Here's more firewood. Yep. Another stack of firewood. As you can see, some of it's older. That'll get burned first. Some of it's newer. Hey, we got to be ready for winter. I talked about dehydrating, right? All those jars are full of things I've dehydrated. And these are seeds I collected. We got beans, we got onion seeds, we have our garlic seeds, and we have nasturtium seeds. There's those garlic seeds I told you about. And a bunch of the dehydrated stuff. Corn, we got beets, we got green onions. We got my nutrient powder mix, which is that one. We have garlic greens, we have yellow squash, we have zucchini, we have more corn, we got dandelion back in there, we got sage, we got all kinds of stuff. So that is a very important part of being prepared for real. There's another aspect of real, actual preparedness. My working pantry. Do you have a working pantry? How well stocked is it? What all do you have? How much food? I probably have more food in my working pantry, in our working pantry, than most people do in their entire house. So that's part of it. If you want to be really prepared, start doing these things. Did I mention alternate heating and cooking methods? Yep, have them. Propane bottles set aside and filled, ready to go. That's an alternate way to cook. All we got to do is bring it out here, leave it where it's at, hook up the propane bottle, and cook our food. It doesn't matter if we have power or not. Another alternate cooking method, aka our fire pit. Roasting weenies, having fun, whatever, but hey, it also has a preparedness aspect to it. We can cook out here. We can also bundle up out here, stay warm, but why would I come outside, right? I'm going to do that inside. But another alternate way of cooking. Very important. That's why I cook almost exclusively with cast iron. Because I can come out here, I can put it on here, no problem. I can do all my cooking just like I do on my stovetop. Simple. Herbs are another great thing that come back year after year. Some herbs, like sage there, oregano right there. Sure, the basil may not come back year after year, but some will. The garlic's here, the onions, the parsnips, no, it's not an herb. Onions, yes. More onions down here starting. Good to go, right? It's just long-term sustainability is key. Pink kiddie pools, vital to preparedness. No, seriously, you could fill that sucker up after cleaning it, of course. Clean it really well with some bleach, some good cleaner, something like that, antibacterial, antiseptic, whatever. Fill that bad boy up with water, cover it with a tarp, and you have water storage. Sure, not for drinking, but for bathing, for watering the garden, doing all those kind of things. Because you need a lot more water than you do just for drinking. So yeah, it may be silly, but seriously, that has a use in preparedness. Security is an aspect of real preparedness, correct? Okay. So why am I showing you a bunch of blackberries? Because that is security. Because they go all the way down the hill, all the way down there. Nobody's coming through that. And it goes from all the way around over there, quite a ways over that direction, all the way here, all the way there, all the way around my garden, all the way around my property, and all the way back that direction. Security. Security is key. If you want to be serious about preparedness, you got to think about many, many different aspects of it. And security is an important one. Here's another thing. More, right there, that whole tree. More firewood from that tree that we topped right there. And we can finish cutting down the rest. It was a dead tree, so there's a whole bunch more firewood down there. That's on my list of to-do things, because if you're actually doing the things for real and being really prepared, you're busy. You always have a list of a million things to do, and that's one of them on my list. I got to go finish cutting up that log, bring the truck down there, load it up, get it stacked for winter, because it's ready for winter. It was dead. We cut it down early spring, I believe. So that's nice and cured, ready to use this winter. Another aspect of it is seeds. Having lots of extra seeds for gardening year after year after year. So this is one example. This whole box is, so you can see how big the box is and how full it is. That's quite a few seeds, and those are just my working seeds. That's not my seed storage. I'll show you my seed storage. Okay, this is part of my seed storage. We got the bags here. We got lots of seeds in storage. We got seeds in storage, and they're all marked with a year. Another huge bag of seeds, 2 more huge bags of seeds, a bunch of stuff that hasn't been bagged up yet. This is seeds, lots of seeds. So that right there, my friends, is part of my seed storage. Have lots of seeds, the planting kind and the freedom kind. Another aspect of being actually prepared is having proper wardrobe. All the earth tones, nothing bright, nothing crazy, not many at all with any kind of logos or writing or anything like that on them. Just, that's every day. Obviously not the camouflage, but my everyday clothes are just earth tones, drab colors, gray man, nothing sticks out. More food storage. Whole corn. Yeah, it's for animals. Hey, it's whole corn and inexpensive to buy this way. So stockpile a lot of food. Don't forget the medical aspect of it. Yes, that is an inexpensive bag that I got from Amazon, but I supplemented with a bunch of better stuff inside of it. So it's a good starter bag. So you got to have medical on hand. Lots and lots of medical. Okay, so that's just a bunch of examples. It's not even everything, obviously. I didn't even show you tactical gear or tools or seeds, those kind of seeds or anything like that. And I didn't even show you like mass food storage. But I hope you get the point. I hope you get the point that if you really want to be prepared, that you need to be out actually doing these things. You need to be using your stuff. You need to be growing food, raising animals. You need to be doing. So please, please, please get out and do. Don't just order stuff on Amazon. Sure, do that, but also get out, use it, get out and do the difficult things. If you really want to survive a bad situation, a total collapse, whatever's coming, then you got to take it seriously. You got to actually do the things. We actually do the things. And I don't feel like I'm anywhere near prepared enough. And this is, you kind of get a general gist of my level of preparedness, sort of. Like I said, I'm not going to show everything. But we get out and do. We are busy. We're constantly. My dehydrator is running 24/7 for probably the last month or two. Seriously, I haven't turned it off in like 2 months probably. Just get out and do the things. I love you guys. I care about you. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.